Stop worrying if you're going to lose on this trade and start focusing on, if I'm wrong, I lose small. If I'm right, I win big. And that takes all the pressure off of you having to be correct. What's going on? My name is Tony. I'm a full-time trader, and I just want to take a second to help give you some perspective on what trading full-time is and turning that corner and seeing success in your trading. Because my journey was extremely long. I've been a full-time trader for a little over 5 years now. I specialize in selling options, but my journey was a long journey. It was not just show up and see immediate success. I've been trading for quite a while, and I decided to quit my job and trade full-time. So my wife and I moved up here to Utah. We felt like that's what God was telling us to do, and trade full-time. And within the first month of trading, I had blown up my entire trading account. It's very different from just like trading to all of a sudden, like, I need to make $10,000 in 3 weeks. And that would just spiral me, because then once I took a loss, I was like, well, suck. Now I need to make, $12,000. And it just kept going and going and going. And I just blew up that entire trading account within a month. So then we took our life savings, we put that into the trading account. I lost that in another month. Then I went out to the bank, I got a loan, and that lasted about another month and a half. Took out another loan, that lasted another month. I currently am not employed anymore, right? So now the bank won't give me any more money, no more loans. And so I went out and cashed out a couple credit cards. Like, it was a long journey, and I don't recommend you taking that journey when you're first starting out. But that was a journey I took, and it was stressful. I literally cried myself to sleep every single night. I went from being financially okay to like, I need to be on welfare, like I am broke. And so I turned the corner when I finally just sat down and wrote out my problems. I was like, literally, I'm on my last $14,000 is what I cashed out 2 credit cards with. So it was like 20-something% interest rates on these credit cards. And I was like, I have to make this work if I'm going to trade full time. This is it. I have nothing else. I have so much debt. I have my bills still due. I have mortgages still due. I'm just living off of credit cards, basically. I knew I had to make this work. And so I sat down and I started writing out my problems. Like, what are my problems? Like, what do I need? Well, I need more consistent returns. I need consistency. Well, I was like, credit spreads would give me consistency, but with the amount of money I have, I could maybe make like $500 a week. And I was like, how can I make $2,000 a week with this amount of money? So I just kept writing out problems, and I kept solving those problems. And by the end of the weekend, I had a strategy and a plan to go forward, and that strategy worked. And it started paying my bills, and I started getting ahead. And so that's how I got out of debt and stayed a full-time trader. I'll give you that strategy completely for free. The link's down below in the description. But that got me out of the hole, that got me making money, and started my journey as a full-time trader. So going through that journey opened my eyes a lot more on like what it takes to be successful as a full-time trader. Everyone sees the success that I have now, but they don't realize that it took years and years of practice and failure. And that wasn't the end of my failing. I continued to struggle and fail, but that's how you learn, right? People in their trading have the wrong perspective. Let's give you this little analogy real fast. So if you had $2,000 in your trading account and you grew that to $15,000, that $15,000 you'd be super proud of, right? That would be something like a huge accomplishment. Like, man, I've just crushed it. Whereas if you had $30,000 and you lost half of it and now you only have $15,000, you'd see that $15,000 as like failure, right? You would see that $15,000 as like, man, I need to make back my money. It's the exact same $15,000 account. The difference is one person has a positive perspective on that number and the other one has a negative. I guarantee you that person that has that confidence and that positive experience is going to continue to grow that account compared to the person that, has lost half their account and they're seeing that 15,000. Your perspective on everything is so important. Everything has to happen for you, not to you. You cannot be a victim in trading. You will not make it. So the first thing that I teach my students is how to learn, right? Realize that failure is a part of the game. What are you learning? So you're always gaining something. If you're not gaining money, you should be gaining knowledge. Most people allow that loss of money to bring down their identity and self-worth so much that they focus on just trying to make it back instead of focusing on the lesson that they needed to learn from it. So that'd be my first tip if you're trying to turn that corner and see success in your trading, is first things first, start learning. Don't let that lost money just be a loss. Learn something from it and then be grateful for it, right? That money was the cost of your tuition. That's what you needed to go through to learn this one lesson. And so take that knowledge, go forward in your trading and apply that, and you'll make that money back, and you have that knowledge now with you for the rest of your life to continue to make more money, because learning what not to do is knowledge. Most people won't apply it. They just keep doing it over and over again. They won't learn from it. Learn from it. Stop making the same mistakes over and over again. If it's not working, learn from it. A big thing for me was I was scared to lose on a trade. And so every time I'd get into a trade and it started to lose, I would just start getting out, and then that trade would win. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'll just stay in. Well, then as soon as that trade started to lose, I was like, I don't really want to lose. Let's see if this reverses. And I would just take a bigger loss, right? When in reality, the truth is, it doesn't matter about this one trade. If I'm controlling my risk and my strategy should set me up to be able to win big, lose small, then it doesn't matter. This one trade is pointless. It doesn't mean anything. It's not going to make me rich, and it's not going to make me poor. You should be putting like 1% of your trading account on this trade, right? So it shouldn't matter in the long run of whether or not this one trade works or not. The only thing that matters is when this trade is wrong, you lose small. And when this trade is working, you win big. That's the only thing that matters in trading. It's not about being correct. It's about when you are correct, let that thing win big. And when you are wrong, cut it. That's the secret. Like if we're flipping a coin, you get unlimited coin flips, and on heads, you get $1,000. On tails, you pay me $300. Would you do that? Yeah. It's a 50-50 shot, and you're making way more on heads than you're losing on tails. Are you going to have tails hit a couple times in a row? Yeah. But you're also going to have heads hit a couple times in a row. The only way you're going to fail is when you stop, in the middle of the game. The only people that get hurt on roller coasters are the ones that jump off halfway through the ride, right? Just ride it out. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs. That's normal, right? Change your expectation and stop worrying if you're going to lose on this trade, and start focusing on, if I'm wrong, I lose small. If I'm right, I win big. And that takes all the pressure off of you having to be correct. I'm wrong all the time, and I still make really good returns. Because it doesn't matter. When I'm wrong, I'm losing small, and when I'm right, I'm winning big. I don't know which trade's going to work, and so that's why I'm not like loading size onto one trade. I keep my size the same for the most part. I'll add into it later on, but it's not about being right or wrong on a trade. It's about winning big and losing small. And there's cows in the road. Hello, cows. That was fun. So that'd be my advice to you, is just really check your perspective, learn from it, right? Instead of beating yourself up and trying to make your money back, gain from that. If you've gained knowledge, you'll be grateful for that experience. I blew up so many accounts like I was telling you, but every time I learned what not to do. And I was like anxious. I was like, let's go get me some more money, because now I know not to do that. I blew up my trading account doing that. I'm not going to do that anymore. I was more confident going forward than less. And I just kept standing back up, because that's really what it's going to come down to, is stand back up, stand back up, stand back up. And as long as you're learning and you're grateful for that past, you're going to make it. It's just a matter of time. The last little tip is, don't put a time frame on it. I think a lot of people are like, I need to learn how to do this in 6 months. And then after 6 months, if you're not successful, you get depressed. Stop. You'll learn it when you learn it. As soon as you close that exit door, as soon as your brain knows there's nothing going to stop you from getting this, you'll actually get it. But once you leave that quitting door open, you'll always go back to it. You'll always be tempted to walk through it. So close that door, love yourself, learn, stop judging yourself on your success, let go of the results at first, and focus on the knowledge. If you're like, look, I am okay not making money for 3 years. I just want to learn in the stock market for 3 years. Then I'll focus on the money. If you have that mentality, you'll be so much more successful in trading. The problem is people start learning something in like 10 minutes. They take a 2-hour course and they're like, I'm going to go make money. And then as soon as they don't, they start getting depressed. And then they quit. Or they jump onto the next strategy. They do this. Like, nothing is going to work that way. Change your perspective, change your focus, think about the long game, build the skill of trading. And if you can just learn that skill of trading, you're going to be successful in trading. So I hope these tips kind of helped you out a little bit. Thanks for going on a little ride. It's my time just to think. The markets are closed. I go drive. I go run these canyons here in Utah. It makes me happy. It clears my head. And I just wanted to make this quick video to help someone out there that might be on that fence, because I've been there. I know what it's like to have lost everything multiple times, and I made it. So if I can make it, so can you.